Hey, thanks for tuning in. This is Kyle's Wonderful here with another wrestling review here on my birthday. It is AEW Rampage from July 8th, 2022, and it's July 9th now. That's why it's my birthday. So I'm recording this a little bit late. SmackDown was so bad that after I did the SmackDown review, I went to the bar. So bear with me on this one. This AEW Rampage was recorded after Dynamite on Wednesday in Rochester, New York. And when I saw that Eddie Kingston and Konosuke Takeshita was going to start the match, I just had to go over to YouTube to see their entrances. Super excited for this match, especially after watching and reviewing one of the worst wrestling shows I've ever watched in my life. This week, SmackDown had 3 advertised matches that didn't even happen, and the 4 matches that did were all about 1 or 2 minute squash matches. So yeah, I was super pumped for this match after all that crap. Like I said, I had to go clear my mind. I went to the bar for my birthday, came back and watched this, and I couldn't have been more happy with what I saw. So um I don't even care who wins this match between Eddie and Konosuke. I just want to sit back and enjoy it. So that's what I did. And that's true wrestling nirvana. That's exactly what that's what you need to strive for. Don't care about who wins and loses matches, bro. Anyway, AEW has built up enough trust for you to know that this isn't going to be like Jericho running out 3 minutes into the match to ruin it. So you know that you're going to get a legit match when they advertise one. Takeshita's out first. He's from Osaka, Japan, with a 6-3 record, and JR puts over his size and says he's young and hungry. And I definitely hope Konosuke sticks around for a long time here and doesn't just return to DDT in like a month. Definitely hoping for that. My favorite current wrestler in the entire world, comes out to massive cheers, Eddie Kingston. I've long time been a babyface hater my entire life almost. But Eddie Kingston is the ultimate babyface that I can get behind. He's the exact babyface I would build. And he can talk you into any match with give him just 1 or 2 minutes on the microphone. He can suddenly make you care about a match that you never cared about before. Eddie comes in with a 43-18 record in AEW. So I switch over to the actual Rampage broadcast. I see CM Punk in the opening video. I completely forgotten that CM Punk was the champion. So because I'm so used to wrestlers having to relinquish the title when they get injured. So we start out this match, the bell rings, and we get a feeling out process at the beginning. Definitely looking forward to this one, and it definitely delivered. So Eddie shows that he's not just a brawler with a nice headlock takeover, but Konosuke shows he's not to be taken lightly with the head scissors. Eddie's now mad and thinks about what he's going to do for his next strategy. We get a big Eddie Kingston chant from the crowd. So Eddie thinks that, okay, let's try a test of strength. So they try that for a while. Eddie is able to take down Konosuke, but the youngster gets right back up and then it keeps the test of strength going, never breaking the hold. They twist and turn for a little bit. We get a clean break by Eddie, but then Eddie says, like, we're good, bro, we're good, because Takeshita was taking a while to break after Eddie did the clean break. So Takeshita doesn't clean break and punches Eddie right in the gut. So this fires up Eddie now. Great decision there. It's not like completely a heel move. Let's just like put some heat on this match. Let's go. So Eddie takes down the straps because he's mad. That reveals that he has taped up ribs. Eddie has also been limping this entire time. He's only 9 days removed from the blood and guts match. Eddie then hits some strikes, but Takeshita fights back. Eddie hits a headbutt to take control of the match. The crowd is super loud. They're super loud for this match, maybe almost as loud as anything they were on Dynamite, since it was in front of the same crowd. So this was like almost their main event. Konosuke then hits a big lariat to take control and a blue thunder bomb, but that's kicked out of. So thankfully we get a picture-in-picture ad break. I would have hated to miss. So I mute my TV and watch the rest of the match here, or not the rest, but you know what I mean. Takeshita hits a pretty weak looking back elbow during the picture-in-picture ad break. I'm pretty sure Eddie told him after the match, just lay that elbow in, son. Both men end up on the mat to recover for a little bit, and it's been a great old school match so far. It wouldn't even look out of place in Madison Square Garden back in 1990 or 1977. But just not as boring as some of those 77 matches would have been. So when we come back from the break, both men are trading forearms, and Chris is on the Oh no, chops, forearms and chops on the apron. Takeshita then blocks a exploder suplex attempt by Eddie and hits a German of his own right onto the apron. Takeshita maintains his grip right after that, but Eddie is able to counter the next move, probably another German, for an exploder suplex onto the outside. Great stuff here. Konosuke just barely gets in the ring before the ref's 10 count. Now back in the ring, they trade strikes again. Eddie Kingston turns Konosuke inside out with a giant lariat. Great stuff. However, Konosuke kicks out at one of all things, and Eddie's discouraged off of this, hits a Liger bomb for a 2 count, able to get a 2 count on that one. Great looking Liger bomb. What a match so far. The crowd chants, "This is awesome," so they definitely agree with me. Takeshita blocks the spinning back fist from Eddie and yells, Eddie now yells like, just like Minoru Suzuki would do. And Takeshita hits 2 massive forearms and then a brain buster. Eddie's just barely able to kick out of this. At this point, JR notes that Takeshita has been wasting a little bit of time here, arguing that was a 3 with the ref. That was a good point. Eddie's able to get to his knees at this point. They trade forearms on their knees. Eddie eventually uses palm strikes, but Takeshita isn't deterred. They end up getting to their feet, still exchanging strikes. So Eddie hits 3, including the third one was massive judo chops to the side / back of the neck of Takeshita. Eddie immediately hits a nasty looking half and half suplex, but Takeshita pops right up, hits one of the biggest lariats I've seen in a while. Eddie pops right up from that lariat, hits the spinning back fist, but Takeshita dodges it. And Takeshita then hits a forearm, but then the Hurricane back fist hits. But Takeshita isn't deterred again, hits a jumping knee. Eddie isn't deterred, hits another spinning back fist. They both fall to the ground, but Eddie on top of Takeshita for the 1, 2, 3. The winner of this amazing hard-hitting classic is my favorite current wrestler in the entire world, Eddie Kingston. Wow. I could watch these two fight every single day and never get enough. That match was so good. I had to pause it here and just kind of take a breather before we moved on because um, I just had to process how amazing that match was. So that freaking SmackDown was so bad, man, tonight. But I'm reminded why AEW is so important because how else would we get a big Eddie Kingston versus Konosuke Takeshita match on national TV other than if AEW didn't exist? So thank God for AEW, my brothers. So in the back now, Athena standing next to Chris Statlander. Still kind of an awkward pairing to me. It's just like out of nowhere, they're best friends. Athena says, "We're gathered here today in support of one TBS champion, Jade Cargill." Chris says, "Comma, that bitch." So that was okay. I admit that was pretty funny right there. The comma, that bitch part. Chris then continues saying, "The problem is that you're a coward." Athena says she's so scared that she'll lose the TBS title that she's running from real competition, and no lies detected there because Layla Gray came in with like a 0-10 record in AEW. So Chris says, "I've been here since the beginning. I've given so much to this company." Athena says, "I've traveled around the world winning championships everywhere I go." And then they both say, "We won't be silenced until they get a shot at the TBS championship." So this whole promo was shot as if it was a spoof of a political ad. And it was pretty funny as far as at least it was way better than that nerdy promo that people were losing their minds over how great it was a couple weeks ago. No, that was like nerdy as hell. That's the kind of stuff. If someone I know, like a friend of mine, walked in while I was watching those two a couple weeks ago, I would have been embarrassed to be watching pro wrestling when that kind of stuff was on. So this was much, much better. I even laughed out loud at the comma that B's part. So good stuff there. We see a little quick, really short video, but it's a recap of basically Hook's entire career, and while people put him over and cool music is in the background. So just a little reminder that this is Hook's show, which maybe Hook's gonna become an ROH guy because Rampage seemingly is turning into the ROH show. So right on cue, making their way to the ring, accompanied by Tully Blanchard, representing Tully Blanchard Enterprises, is the Gates of Agony, Kaun and Toa Leoa. And Moriarty then comes out, and then Jonathan Gresham comes out and gets huge cheers for Jonathan Gresham. I see you, Rochester, and that'll be important later on, trust me. So Caprice Coleman comes out for commentary. He puts all four men over very well. Caprice Coleman is so good, and you can even tell that JR likes him, which is a pretty big deal. Plus, it's great that Caprice gets to work alongside not only JR but Tony Schiavone as well, just soaking up knowledge from the veterans. And hopefully, Caprice Coleman ends up a top announcer for the next 20 to 30 years. That's how good he is. So Kaun is going to start the match with Lee Moriarty. Kaun starts strong immediately, hitting big strides. Kaun and Teo Liona are both very big guys. If you've never seen that, so Kaun tags in Liona. Liona wears Lee down with his size. Lee's much smaller than these two. Kaun now back in. They hit a double team on Lee. And don't forget, Brian Cage is also a part of this Tully Blanchard Enterprises team, who's also massive. So they got some massive giants in this Tully Blanchard Enterprises. They could definitely hold all the ROH gold very soon. So a massive, tremendous Samoan drop by Teo Liona. One of the best Samoan drops I've ever seen here on the much smaller Lee. Awesome move there. We go right to a picture-in-picture ad break after that. Teoa wears down Lee a little bit. We haven't seen Gresham in the match yet. We get a tag to Kaun, and a double team has Lee in big trouble. Toa then tags back in, some more double teams to Lee. What a one-sided match this is. We lose the picture-in-picture ad break now for a minute. When we come back, Lee counters a move, but Kaun tags in blindly, but Lee is able to hit a drop kick on one of them and dodge the other to tag in Gresham. But wait, Gresham takes away his hand. Holy crap. Jonathan Gresham has turned heel. Jonathan Gresham goes outside the ring, hugs Tully Blanchard. So, I was already saying Tully Blanchard Enterprises was about to dominate ROH, but now they have Jonathan Gresham as well. Wow. So, wow, just wow. Toa finishes off Lee and Moriarty easily right after this. The winners of their match are the Gates of Agony, representing Tully Blanchard Enterprises. Tully Blanchard Enterprises gains a fourth member, and now they already have their first taste of gold just by bringing Jonathan Gresham in. They now own the ROH World Heavyweight title. So in the back now, really, really good promo. Eddie Kingston almost has no voice left, and he's saying Takeshita is the future. I've been wanting that match for a while. And like I said, Eddie can barely talk. He's been through so much lately. He then says, I'm going to make Jericho bleed. And now that you've attacked my Ruby, I want you in a barbed wire match, Chris. Every drop of blood you bleed, Chris, is for my Ruby. So this goes back for a while. I've heard a lot of people complaining, oh, they've only built up like Ruby being friends with Eddie Kingston for only a week or so, and now we're supposed to care. But come on, they at least built it up before they showed it to you in the first place. And second of all, if you want to know more, just go watch some of the indies. So anyway, Serena Deeb again with her hair down, which looks a little weird, but to each their own. They can do whatever they want. And she'll team with Mercedes Martinez, of course. This is like the fourth or fifth time we've seen them team together. And since this has to all be leading to them fighting over the RH women's title that Mercedes holds, Caprice Coleman will stay on the commentary for this match. So Kayla Sparks and Christina Marie will be the opponents. Deeb starts the match and takes Christina Marie down right away and just absolutely destroys her. Deeb's now talking trash, and Mercedes, she talks trash to Mercedes, her own partner, saying like, you can learn something from me. So Mercedes tags in. They hit a nice double team. Christina Marie is now in very rough shape. Both women are aggressively destroying her. Deeb then gets the Serenity lock in and just simply wins the match. We never even saw Kayla Sparks in this match, who I've heard of Kayla Sparks before, and I would have rather seen her actually have a little bit of a match. So this gets a big damn thumbs down from me, especially after we just watched a match where the guy didn't even tag in once. It was a tag match where Lee Moriarty got beat up the entire time. Then we go from that to a tag match where Christina Marie gets beat up the entire time. So that's just trash here. Other than the first match tonight, Rampage sucked. And I might be because I'm in a bad mood because SmackDown was the worst SmackDown I've ever seen. But like I told you, I went and took a break. I went to the bar and went to go enjoy myself after the worst SmackDown I've ever watched and reviewed in my entire life. So I went to the bar for my birthday, enjoyed myself, came home, really enjoyed that Eddie Kingston versus Konosuke Takeshita match. But then I have to watch a tag match where Gresham never tags in, then Gresham turns heel. Okay, that's cool. That's a storyline. Then we have the very next match. Christina Marie never even tags in her partner. Okay, cool, whatever. It's a freaking 2 squash matches in a row, and where it's just kind of like storyline parts. So if I was on another night where I didn't have to watch that worst SmackDown ever, maybe I'd be more acceptable to this stuff, but this all puts me in a bad mood. So let's see where we go from here. In the back, Tony Schiavone and Tully Blanchard are towering over this short Jonathan Gresham. Gresham says, first of all, Lee Moriarty isn't my partner. Second of all, I am the foundation of ROH, the ROH champion, and I've been sitting home since March. Side note, he was injured until Tully Blanchard called me. And then Tony says Lee Moriarty, for some reason, will get a ROH title shot next week on Rampage. No idea why. I'm not even going to question it at this point. Tully Blanchard says Tully Blanchard Enterprises is alive and well, and this almost basically confirms that Rampage will turn into the ROH show, which is fine. Rampage has almost been dead in the water. I wish Rampage was live every week, but apparently we're not allowed to get that. So remember, like even before the Forbidden Door, ROH was all over Rampage. So ROH is definitely taking a slow takeover of the Rampage to make it its own show. So I completely had forgotten this was the main event while watching the show. Mark Henry talks to both Tony Nese and Orange Cassidy. Danhausen's there as Cassidy's lawyer. The best friends were there, and so was the smart Mark Sterling. So in the back, before we get to the main event, Lee Moriarty and Matt Sydal complain about Gresham being a bad guy, and they both absolutely suck at promos, but you can only get better with practice, so whatever, right? I'm just in a bad mood at this point. So we also see that Eddie versus Jericho will be a week from Wednesday, so not this Wednesday, but a week from Wednesday in a barbed wire match where all of Jericho Appreciation Society will be locked in its shark cage, which is kind of weird. So I'll take it, though. That sounds like an amazing match. I hope Kingston wins. But remember, Kingston did win right before this whole feud started. Kingston got the win on Jericho. So I wouldn't be surprised if Jericho finds a way to win this one. And Eddie Kingston's the kind of guy that can eat like 30 losses and still be just as hot as he was. So main event time. So Tony Nese comes out, Orange Cassidy comes out. I've been drinking too much, so the notes will be spotty at this point. I write that in my notes, so I'm kind of jaded. I went out drinking for my birthday. It was the worst SmackDown of all time. I loved the Takeshita Eddie match, but I hated those 2 tag matches. Let's see if this does anything for me. One thing I've been saying over and over is I'm a kind of guy, I don't like the Orange Cassidy gimmick, but I do understand he's a good wrestler, and I like all the hands in the pocket spots where he shows good agility, but I also hate the fake kicks every time kind of deal. So that's where I am with Orange Cassidy. But what I have been saying on these reviews over and over, especially after Orange Cassidy definitely proved himself at Forbidden Door against Will Ospreay, but then again, Will Ospreay could have a good match with a broomstick. So anyway, what I was been saying for 2 weeks straight now is that you don't want to overexpose Orange Cassidy. Some people can only take his stupid little gimmick perfectly. In a perfect world, I would only have to see Orange Cassidy twice a month. He comes in, does his things, and then leaves. Any more overexposure, and I hate him. I'm telling you, and I'm not the only one. So here we are, 4th match for Orange Cassidy in a 2-week span, and I am completely over the guy, bro. And he's got Danhausen with him, which if you're not a Danhausen fan on top of everything, this is crap. So yeah, I was in a great mood. I went to the bar, got all that bad SmackDown stuff out of my mind, and I come back, watch the amazing Takeshita Eddie match, and then 2 tag matches get my mood soured again, and now I have to see Orange Cassidy for a 4th time in 2 weeks. This is not the kind of gimmick you want to see multiple times in a week. I'm telling you. So anyway, Tony Nese uses his strength advantage at the start. He shows his speed advantage as well when he takes down Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy isn't as good of an athlete. Orange puts his hands in his pockets, rolls out of the way out of attacks, showing that he is a good athlete nonetheless with all his agility. And that's the one thing I'll give Orange Cassidy. The hands in the pocket stuff does show innovation and agility, and those are the parts of his matches I do enjoy when he's doing kind of dodging and cool moves with his hands in his pockets. JR tells us old school fans to wake up into the new decade when it comes to Orange Cassidy. And I could agree with that, but don't overexpose him. I'm seeing way too much of Orange Cassidy. So Orange gets a few pins on Nese, showing some good grappling ability. Nese hits an amazing looking rolling uppercut up onto the corner. That move looked amazing. Best move of the match by far, Tony Nese with that rolling uppercut. Nese then goes from that amazing move, best move in the match, to a completely bad looking gut buster for a 2 count. Barely even touched Orange Cassidy. Sterling now takes a cheap shot on Orange Cassidy as we go to a pitcher-in-pitcher ad break. Tony dominates the entire ad break. Danhausen curses Nese. Orange fights back, and Nese gets caught in the yam bags right in front of the referee. Tony Nese is holding his yam bags. I'm not quite sure what happened, but the referee seems to be fine with whatever happened. Nese then locks in a body scissors as we come back from break. Orange does the rapid nip-ups to get out of that. Nese then strikes Orange to keep control. They battle back and forth on top of the ropes. And now Danhausen and Sterling are arguing. And they hit a really big I don't know what I wrote there. So, but yeah, they successfully overexposed Orange. I'd rather watch anyone else in the ring right now. You might have liked this match a lot more than me, but I can only take like 3 Orange matches maximum a month, and I've seen 4 in 2 weeks. So Orange fights back with a DDT, hits a top rope DDT. Those were pretty decent looking. I mean, they were good DDTs. I'll give them that. Nese kicks out. I wish it was over. And the announcers and the crowd seem to like everything that's happening and put it over as like some of the greatest things they've ever seen. So I guess I'll take their word for it. It was just amazing, the best I've ever seen. So anyway, Sterling on the apron now. Orange hits those stupid looking fake kicks. I don't know why that's entertaining to anybody. Thanks for making wrestling look fake. The one thing we don't want wrestling to look is fake, because it is fake. So we don't want it to look fake. So thanks for being like John Cena and fake, just like John Cena. So anyway, Nese hits a Steiner driver, but somehow Orange Cassidy is able to kick out of being dropped on his head. That's crap. The crowd rallies behind Orange, who then dodges Tony Nese's knees, and Sterling's now on the ring. So Danhausen takes out Sterling. This belongs on WWE, not AEW. This is the reason I watch AEW, because it's not this wrestle crap that we find on WWE. So Orange Cassidy wins, and it reminds me of that hack Roman Reigns when he hits the orange punch. I hate this show. This show sucked despite being I absolutely loved. My match of the week is guaranteed to be Eddie Kingston versus Konosuke Takeshita. But the other 3 matches on this card sucked. So I'm gonna get going. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Peace.